Good morning, everybody. Kyle Granger in the WVLT newsroom, where today we are looking at the latest information in regards to these storms that we expect to build here through the afternoon. We've already seen some rainfall so far today, and that has been light in nature. Maybe you ran into that on your journey across town or what have you, but we are looking for some of these storms that will be on the strong to severe side, especially as we get into the evening hours. We're talking about around lunchtime. So those of you thinking about what lunchtime is going to be dinner time. So those of you thinking about dinner and maybe what your plans are for your family, just want to let you know that it is going to be kind of a rough evening, so you might want to plan ahead for that. So that's why we have the WVLT First Alert Weather Day in effect for us for this Wednesday. And yes, some areas across the South are already starting to see some of these storms that are moving through. I want to take you to this live camera from our sister station, Huntsville, Alabama. You can see they have wet streets there. They have just had a line of stronger storms that has managed to move through their neck of the woods throughout the course of the morning hours. And of course, we're looking back here in Knoxville now, where we have clouds overhead and we've had this rain through the course of the morning. Here's currently what's going on right now. Southwest winds at 9 miles per hour. It feels like 65. As we move into the afternoon, we're going to stay roughly about the same temperature. So here's the progression of storms we had over the past couple of hours. And you can see all of us have been getting wet in some form or fashion, with some heavier storms, heavier than others. Here's live pinpoint Doppler for you right now. From La Follette to Wartburg into Clinton, you've got off and on light to moderate showers that are with you at this place in time. And let's zoom in a little bit closer and show you from Elk Valley down Interstate 75. There's pockets of that yellow that's still in there in and around La Follette. Let's go further south. Interior sections of Wartburg right now, you're seeing that moderate shower over the Frozen Head State Park at this time, and Highway 27 up to Sunbright. You do manage to get some clearing when you get into that area. Crossville, you've just had that heavy shower that came through your neck of the woods. It's now pushing over into Fairfield Glade, Crab Orchard, and some light sprinkles left for you from there over the Pleasant Hill, and no doubt over the lake and back into Sevier County. Some sprinkles over Great Smoky Mountains National Park and out towards Hartford, parts of Cocke County, seeing that as well this morning. And we've seen some heavy rainfall down to the south for parts of McMinn and Monroe counties, and you can see those storms that are firing up and are about to move through where we were looking at here from this camera in Huntsville. You can see that trails all the way down into parts of Alabama, parts of Mississippi as well. And that is what we are watching here over the coming hours. I'll take you to a different camera in the Huntsville area. You can see all the clouds that are there. They've already been wet this morning with that line that has come through, and we expect more to be coming through there and here in the next little while. I'll take you back to the storm map. So we show you this new enhanced graphic here with a slight risk for most of the area from Morristown south to Knoxville, Wartburg, really I-40, the I-40 corridor being the main line here. If you're north of that, you're better off than if you're to the south, but any one of us could see some of these stronger storms that managed to develop here through the afternoon and into the evening hours. We're really talking about a 6 to midnight time frame here for the most part, and some of these will linger on just a little bit longer. And my friends who have family and friends down in the North Alabama, North Mississippi, and Middle Tennessee area, you can see that bullseye. We've increased this to an enhanced threat through the middle part of the state and into northern portions of Alabama and Mississippi through the course of the evening hours and daytime hours today. So a lot of folks under the gun here with these storms. This is a big bullseye for much of the southeast to deal with today. For us, our main threats for this is going to be some gusty winds and also excessive rainfall. We're in the slight risk for much of East Tennessee with the excessive rainfall. If you get 1, 2, 3 inches of rain in a short amount of time, and we're talking about through the course of 24 hours, if not 12 hours by the time we get the heaviest of the stuff here, you're talking about some major runoff issues that we could have in some of these specific locations, especially the locations where we have drainage issues and runoff issues already. You will run into some of those situations, no doubt, into your neighborhood as well. So the excessive rainfall risk really runs from La Follette over to Wartburg. Half of Fentress County is involved in this. Union County, Granger County, Morristown, Dandridge, Jefferson City, and that moves back down to Knoxville, Maryville, into Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Madisonville, Tellico Plains, and Kingston, Harriman, Lenoir City, you're all in this as well. So if you're in one of those low-lying areas where maybe you have some drainage issues or things just tend to back up on the creek that's out backside of your house, this is something that you'll want to pay very close attention to in the coming hours. And really, once sun sets, it does make it even more difficult to see where that rain is, where those creeks and streams are rising, where the ponding is on the roadways. And that flooding threat will continue right through the first part of our Thursday morning. And remember, when it's dark, it's hard to see where some of that is. So just take some extra time if you're out and about early for the first part of your Thursday morning. You may be the first one to have crossed that road and crossed that path through the course of the morning hours, and someone may not have seen exactly what has happened with those tree limbs that come down, etc., for your early morning drive tomorrow. Wind damage, I mentioned the tree limbs down. Wind damage will be a possibility. Gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour, not out of the question as we move with some of these storms this afternoon, and that could bring down some tree limbs. Tree limbs fall into a power line, it knocks out the power in your neighborhood. You've had a pretty rough evening. So those of you who do have the WVLT First Alert weather app handy, make sure that you are having that where you can get to it at a moment's notice through the course of the overnight hours. And in fact, what I would say is it would be better if you would manage to keep it charged all day long. That way you don't have to worry about what we are going to be experiencing and how you're going to get that information. If your cell phone dies, you can't get it, but if you keep it charged up, you will be able to get that information right at your fingertips at any given place and time. I mentioned just an isolated chance for a tornado, and that's going to be more in that enhanced risk area where I showed you earlier, but can't rule it out. We're close enough to all of this that we could see some issues with that as well. Most of us, though, will manage to squeak by with just some strong winds and some heavy rainfall. You see in and around Knoxville, that next batch of rain is going to push through to the 12:30 hour. We're still not to that weather alert yet. I know some of these downpours can be a little treacherous at times, moving through the 1 o'clock hour and then into the 3:30 hour. Watch what happens as we get towards 5, 6 o'clock tonight. That's when we add in that weather alert day. You see here from Jamestown to Crossville, some of those stronger storms are going to be starting to work their way in. We've got deeper purples just down to our south. And again, we are just so close to this thing. We've got to pay very close attention right on through the evening hours. 9 o'clock at night, some of you may start thinking about bed, and yes, it's going to be rocking and rolling at your house. If you're in, my friends who live in Kingston over to Harriman, you want to pay close attention to that at 9, 10 o'clock tonight. There's another wave of pulse of energy that comes through right into the 11 o'clock hour as it moves off to the east, Sneedville and the Morristown, Newport. And this is a new model configuration than what we showed you earlier this morning during the morning show. So an updated run here with new information, new data. We'll see if this timeline does progress, because at this point, this is showing us that this is out of here by midnight. Whereas earlier this morning, it was showing us that we would have these waves of energy that would be coming through during the 1, 2, 3 o'clock hour. So we'll see if that trend continues. It's one of those situations we want to watch for trends as opposed to one single model run that is doing something completely different. So Futurecast 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll start to close the weather alert day, but we will still have some rain and storms that are around, and especially into the Smoky Mountains. The rest of us will do a pretty good job of starting to clear out as we move into the afternoon on our Thursday. You can see here, there's the clearer skies for the 4:30 hour and eventually into that sunset. For most of us, we're going to be talking about gusts upwards of about 20 to 25 miles per hour for much of the rest of today. And that is really kind of what we experienced for the past couple of days. So nothing new there, but we will have these storms and pulses of energy to come through that knock us up to 30, 40, even 50, 60 miles per hour. Not out of the question through the course of the overnight hours and into the first part of the morning coming up tomorrow. Here's the rainfall we were talking about as well, and some of this is concerning to us because the storms could set up over the same place, and if that happens, we're getting more in the rain bucket in those neighborhoods than say in others. Look at this. Townsend, a little over half an inch. Hartford barely getting a quarter. Oneida to La Follette, we're closer to 2 inches in a short amount of time, and that's where we do manage to get concerned in this particular area where we have the purples as opposed to the blues. So I mentioned the weather alert. I mentioned the weather app. If you keep that handy, you can open your computer screen, open your phone right now, point it to the computer screen with the camera function, and it will download that weather app right to your phone, and you will have all the information you need to know as you go to bed tonight, as you move around town, wherever you may go. You'll have all the information you need to know about this weather alert situation. Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley and Ben Cathy are going to be with you through the evening hours until the duration, and I'll be back tomorrow morning keeping you apprised of any situations that you may need to know about for the start of your day coming up on your Thursday commute. So for today, we're at 71 degrees. Showers and storms will be with us. A 60% coverage for you today. And notice tonight, as those storms whip up, we bump that up to an 80% coverage. Around midnight, we're talking about 100% coverage. 59 for the start of the day tomorrow. Temperatures do not move all that much with these showers and storms and the clouds that we have. This is not the only weather alert that we are focused on. We are also putting the finishing touches on the next weather alert, which is going to be coming in for our Saturday night. So Friday night is kind of warm, it's breezy, we got some isolated rain. And then Saturday night, just like tonight, we've got more strong storms that will bring some gusty winds and heavy downpours as well. So that's the reason for a Saturday weather alert day. And many of you have New Year's Day plans and traditions that you like to do. And this may very well disrupt some of your plans, especially if it's planned out for the evening hours. And again, on Sunday, temperatures fall through the day. We're talking about Monday's low temperature starting in the 20s. Same thing on Tuesday, and afternoon highs only managing to get into the 40s. In fact, I can show you that right now here on the planning forecast, looking at what's going on for Thursday and Friday, an opportunity to dry out a little bit. But then more heavy rain comes through on Saturday, just in time for the new year. And then when we start next week, coming up on the cold side, 42 in the afternoon, 48 on Tuesday. And of course, the weather alert is going to be coming to a close as we get into our Sunday morning as well. As always, the WVLT website, WVLT.tv, just in case you're sitting at your computer screen, does have the very latest information posted from the news desk and also the weather desk as well. So that is the story. I wanted to let you know about what was going on through the course of the day today. Just check back in. We'll be giving these updates. That weather app's going to get constantly updated as well. And the main thing I want you to understand is I want you to be safe tonight. Be careful driving. If you're at your home, you get under one of these severe thunderstorms, get to the most interior section of your home, because that's going to help protect you from the elements on the outside. Should something come through and break a window, you won't be right there close to it and get that glass causing some problems, and then you have to call for an emergency situation. So that is the latest. We're back on WVLT News at noon and always on the WVLT First Alert weather app with all the information you need to know. I'll say a prayer for each and every one of you, and you stay safe, and I'll see you soon.